everybody to WTL. Where's the line? Nebraska's first and only sports betting show. I'm your host, Andy Classen, joined by
Jabron.
Oh, the Parlay Pounder.
Yes, sir.
Oh, boy. Now we're getting back into the NBA playoffs.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I have a couple games coming up your way here on Friday and Saturday evening. And a couple of teams that are in the playoffs.
Yep.
It's just that you haven't really had a chance to see them or watch them unless you have one of those extra subscriptions.
Yeah.
And we're talking about the Friday night matchup of the Cleveland Cavaliers going to Orlando to take on the match. This has actually been a very fun series. Cleveland leads 3-2, but now we're going back to Orlando where the Magic are a 3.5-point favorite. You got that total at just a half point under 200 at 199.5.
Yeah, Andy. Going back to Disney World, this series has been up and down, like you just said, but remarkably, I think it has produced some of the best basketball and exciting moments in the round one of the NBA playoffs. The big man for the Cleveland Cavaliers may return, Jared Allen, which could give the Cavaliers a boost, but the Magic have blown out the Cavaliers twice at home.
Yeah. 121-83, right?
Yes.
Game 3.
And then they almost stole Game 5 on the road. I think, Andy, and I said this at the start of the playoffs, I believe the Magic can still win this series. Look for the Magic to continue to feed off the energy of the Orlando faithful, find a way to cover the spread while sending the series back to Cleveland for Game 7.
Oh, there we go. So you like the home team covering this thing, and it has been bet down just a point.
No doubt.
I think it opened up. Actually, I got that backwards. I think it opened up at 3.5, and now it's been bet up to 4.5. So Orlando's catching some love. So I think you have some other folks that are thinking in lockstep with the way your thought process is going here. Banchero has been playing fantastic, but so has Mitchell. Right away, you call him Spider-Man.
Yeah, Donovan Mitchell.
Spider. Spider averaging 27 points per game.
Doubt.
Looking really good. Jared Allen's probably going to be the key, though. Is he going to be
Is he going to play?
He's listed as a game-time decision.
Yeah, exactly, Andy. And that really is the key factor to this. But I really love the Magic at home. Like you said, Banchero's been playing good. Especially at home. But what we said at the start of this when we previewed this a couple weeks ago, or just last week when we talked about playoff matchups, is Donovan Mitchell is the best player in this series.
Right.
But I believe Orlando does have the better team. Franz Wagner is shooting 65% at home, Andy.
Who's this guy?
Franz Wagner. And he's only shooting 34.8% on the road. So if this trend, continues at least for one game, I think he's going to keep the Magic alive and Banchero bounce back, like you said. So I really like Orlando here. They will cover if they can springboard themselves to an early lead and shoot the ball well while feeding off the energy of that crowd, like I said. Then they need to defend the ball well and not let the Cavs get easy buckets especially for Donovan Mitchell.
Yeah, for as competitive as this series has been, it does feel like the Orlando Magic's wins have been more impressive than the Cavaliers wins. Cavaliers won game 1, 97-83 at home. And then they won another one by 10 points, but then that blowout in game 3, 121-83.
And then another blowout.
112-89. And then the Cavaliers did defend home court, but only snuck by.
It was a great game at the end of game 5. Back and forth. I really do believe the Magic have it in their mind now that they can beat this team and force this Game 7 back to Cleveland. So giving the Magic to cover that 4.5 at home Friday night.
Hard to go against that. And Cavaliers won 104-103 at home by the skin of their teeth in Game 5, looking for Magic to bounce back at home, which they've traditionally have done this season.
And I'm going over too, Andy. 199.5. A lot of these playoffs lines are getting bet down under 200 points, and I get it looking at the track record. Like you said, Magic 83, Cavaliers 97, Magic 86, Cavaliers 96. They're picking up points as the series goes on. They're making adjustments on offense to score more points. It's getting over 200. Take that to the bank.
You like the over 200? Yeah, more games have been under than over that thus far. But it does feel like maybe that offense is starting to click a little bit.
No doubt.
They're starting to figure things out. All right.
Yes, sir.
Should we move on to a game one?
Let's do
Saturday.
The game one of game ones.
Congratulations, first off, to the Minnesota Timberwolves, right? For the first time in forever? They have advanced in the playoffs. Cat was looking good. Ant-Man Anthony Edwards was fantastic. Rudy Gobert did his thing.
No doubt.
I mentioned it last week, that pick and roll between Michael Conley Jr. and Gobert was just devastating.
No doubt.
Two impressive opening series for the Wolves, taking care of the Phoenix Suns.
Yep.
And then the Nuggets kind of taking it to the LA Lakers.
No doubt, Andy. It pains me to say this. Yeah, LeBron's out of the playoffs in the first round.
Yep.
They put up a couple valiant fights, but really just the stretch play between Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray, especially Murray, putting down those 2-game winners. The Lakers did really fight, and
they did. They tried.
It just was too much. The 39-year-old couldn't beat the 2 young pups. So it was a fun series to watch, even though it kind of took care of them. But it was still a lot of fun to watch, and looks like the Nuggets are definitely the team to beat.
Yeah, I mean, even that final game was only a 2-point victory there.
Yeah, no.
108 to 106 could have went either way. There.
Great to see it.
Yeah, but you got to feel like Denver's going to be playing with a lot of confidence.
No doubt.
Taking out the Lakers in that fashion, dramatic fashion for a couple of games. And you mentioned the young pups. Well, I think Minnesota is still kind of considered the young pups
no
here.
doubt.
Even though they got some veterans.
Now they
I
are.
get it.
Now they are up against a team that they have considerable amount of playoff experience over, obviously. And I think, Andy, what's really crazy about this game, if this game one were on Wednesday or Thursday night, this prediction might have been a little different. But Jamal Murray getting 4 full days of rest on his strained calf will be a massive boost for the Denver Nuggets. The matchup in this series that I am ready to watch, Andy, is the multi-time NBA Defensive Player of the Year, Rudy Gobert, defending Nikola Jokic, the MVP, the Joker. Another one to look for is Aaron Gordon will battle against three-point sniper and stretch for Karl Anthony Towns, Andy.
Yeah.
At the same time, Anthony Edwards and Jamal Murray will likely see a lot of different defenders. They're going to be throwing people at those guys. So, like I said, I think the key matchup in big advantage early is for Nikola Jokic' ability to stretch the floor, pull Rudy out of the paint, and the T-Wolves might, I think that's going to be a big one for them in game one to figure out how to manage that. So I really like the Nuggets. I like them to cover in game one. Kind of a feeler out game for Timberwolves, how they want to play this in the playoffs. Yeah,
and this has been bet down. Not a lot of movement on this point spread, but it opened up with Denver being your home favorite at minus 5.5 point favorite. Now they're a 4.5 point favorite, and that does feel like something they could do.
No doubt.
At home, even against LA, they're able to cover when they had that point spread. Although we did see a couple close games there.
No doubt.
Gobert is just so much your traditional post player. He likes to stay around the rim. He likes to protect the rim. You can't do that against Nikola, the Joker. You just cannot do that. And I think that's going to play huge in this series where he's going to be able to pull them out away from the rim, and then that's going to open everything up. And you talk about Murray getting rest.
Yeah.
I say this every game we talk about Denver. It's just a tough matchup. It doesn't matter if it's the Lakers, it's the Timberwolves. Denver's a tough matchup.
Denver's just a tough draw. But I believe that the Timberwolves can win this series. They
got some length. They have length.
They got length. They got a whole bunch of pieces. And I wasn't just saying that it's going to be hard for them to figure out how to guard Jokic. It's also going to be hard for Denver to figure out how to stretch that floor with Karl Anthony Towns while keeping the Joker in the paint. So with Rudy. And Anthony Edwards looks like he is all world right now.
Yeah,
he feels like he's playing with the most confidence in the NBA playoffs.
Hey, he's just talking smack to KD all series.
Exactly, and that's his favorite player of all time. So, it's going to be a lot of fun. I cannot wait for this series. I do believe the Minnesota Timberwolves have a very good chance of winning this series, just not game one.
Yeah, and game one, according to ESPN Analytics matchup predictor, the Nuggets have have a 61.7% chance to win this opening game in Denver. I mean, it is in Denver. Come on.
It's in Denver. They're going to pack the house, especially against a young team, a flashy team with the Minnesota Timberwolves. I think the Denver Nuggets are going to be ready to go.
It's still called the Pepsi Center? Is it still
I believe it's the Pepsi Center.
Pepsi Center is going to be a buzzing. What about that total? You're looking at 207.5.
Yeah, Andy. I just believe that these teams are going to try and light it up in game one. So I do believe the over is the play, especially with the dynamic scoring with the Timberwolves and the way that the Nuggets have been able to finish games. Even if it's close at the end, I believe Denver will have enough to push that point total over, even if they start the fourth quarter down. You saw with the Lakers in 3 games, they were losing at halftime and just were able to pick up the points in the second half. So I really love the over here, Andy.
Look at these point totals for the Timberwolves. Their last 3 games here, 122 points, 126 points, 105 points. Oh, and then throw in game 2 against Phoenix, 120 points.
Yeah.
And now I'm not saying Denver's going to be playing a little bit better defense than Phoenix, but you're just talking about piling on like that.
You're talking about piling it on. And then with the Nuggets able to score as well, Andy. I do have a parlay play, Andy, for this game.
Here we go.
It's the all-joker parlay play, Andy.
I like it.
I got Nikola Jokic over 27.5 points. I got Nikola Jokic over 9.5 assists. And then I got Nikola Jokic over 12.5 rebounds. We are going for the triple-double, Andy. I am putting 25 on this to win 123.
That's hilarious because that's just his season average. He averages 26.5 points per game, 12.5 rebounds per game, and 9 assists. All you're asking him to do is just have his usual game.
Just have a normal game, Joker.
Your normal game.
Just a normal triple-double is all.
And 4 days rest.
In 4 days rest.
I do like that.
I believe he's going to be ready. I believe the Nuggets are going to be ready. It's going to be a lot of fun to watch. But triple-double for the Joker.
I usually like to give you a little bit of static over your parlays, but when you're talking Jokic, I really can't do it. And you're just talking about him hitting his average.
Just season average, baby.
Give me that 3-legger. Give me that 3-legger. Game 1. Well, let's take a minute to recognize one of our fabulous partners, and that is the Nebraska Brewing Company. World class in every glass. Don't go anywhere. This is WTL.